falsify.
Right.
That's why they usually symbolize what? The staff and the snakes.
Yeah.
You know,
Hermes.
the demonic some symbols.
Yeah,
Because it's all wicked.
Yeah. The caduceus, the snake that's encoiling itself. Well, that's witchcraft, man. And that's why. Oh yeah, and then they have the pot,
The mortar.
the mortar, which that really goes into the witch, and the handle, because back in the ancient world you would have the witches and the warlocks. They would concoct potions to give to the masses of the people to keep them drugged up and keep them addicted. So if they would leave and they would actually be on those drugs, and they would also use it to lace. Like if a woman wanted to make her man more addicted to her and keep her man in the house and strongly affectionate to his woman, they would actually mix up certain potions and they would give to the woman to sneak in the man's food supply or
Root
water.
doctors. They call them root
Yeah,
doctors.
root
now.
doctors. And these ain't nothing but the modern day root doctors, these pharmaceutical giants. Keep going.
It says, and yet despite numerous FDA regulations, death from adverse drug reactions is still one of the leading causes of death in the United
Leading
States.
causes of death. Keep going.
I think I watched a documentary years ago. Basically, like vitamins, they always talk about the fact that people dying or overdosing from vitamins, and there's no proven fact of anybody ever dying from supplementing vitamins and minerals. But every year, the pharmaceutical companies they expect 100,000 plus people to die from pharmaceutical drugs. 100,000 people, I believe.
100,000. And it's all according to the recommended dose that the pharmaceutical companies give them, man. But what happens? Because when you take these different drugs, your body starts to get tolerant to it. That's with anything. Like even when you're taking herbs, in most cases you're supposed to up the dosage. Depending on the type of herbs that you're taking, if your body starts to get a little bit more immune, they say after a couple weeks, go from 2 supplements to 3 supplements, but you ain't supposed to take 10 or 15, of course. It's supposed to be all in balance,
Right.
because you're just trying to work your body and you're trying to make your body more holistic or more sound. But when you take these different drugs from these pharmaceutical companies, what do? They make you hallucinate, they get you high, which in turn is going to make you more addicted, so it's going to urge you to take more pills. Instead of taking two of these whatever drugs that you're taking, you're going to want to take 3. Because you're getting a feeling, you're getting a rush from the drugs that you're actually taking. And 3 turns to 5, you know. Next thing you know, you OD. And then if you got more than enough, because they'll just dump them to you like a pack of Skittles, people start selling them.
Yeah.
Start selling them on the streets.
On the market.
Yeah, on the market.
Black market.
Yep, black market and things of that nature.
There's an article I think came out like a year ago. This pharmaceutical company had dropped off it was like a little town in Virginia or something. Like the town might have had like 3,000 people. The pharmaceutical company sent like 100,000 pills to that town. So it was like, here it is, you got a town with like a couple thousand people now with over 100,000 pills. What's going on there? People are getting strung out on these drugs, man.
And then when you tell them not to take the damn drugs, they'll look at you crazy, or they might say, well, I'm gonna stick to this, or I'm gonna stick to that, or nah, man, or bitter herbs. Like for example, I tried to help somebody, giving them knowledge on some bitter herbs. They down near looked at me sideways.
Oh hell!
Here it is. You brothers know when I was sick and shit, I'm taking bitter herbs, getting well. Then when I tell them, hey, I took this and that, you should do it too. They'll look at you like, nah, I don't want to go through all that.
Because when I used to work at Vitamin Shop. I used to deal with the same thing with people, where like you try to tell them like the right thing to do, and they don't want to hear it because they trust in that white suit, that white jet, that they trust in the idea of a doctor coming into the room with the white coat and his name on it. With a few pens and his pad, to the point where right before I quit Vitamin Shop, you know what they were about to roll out? They wanted us to have our little, they were gonna give us pads. So we looked like the doctor, like you get a prescription, it's like, okay, well.
Yeah, like you was.
I'm like, get out of here with this, man. But it's the playing on the emotions of people, man.
Yeah, because people love the illusion. They love the whole, I would say ceremony, so to speak. It's another term that I wanted to define. Basically, the ritual.
The ritualistic side of it.
The ritual of receiving the drugs like that. All right, he's in all white. So it actually desensitizes the people. It's all a play on the minds of the people, the minds of the masses. But you go, read that in our Revelations, then we're gonna go back to that.
All right, this is Revelation 21:8. But the fearful and unbelieving and the abominable and murderers.
So the fearful, the abominable, unbelieving, and murderers. Keep going.
And whoremongers.
And whoremongers
and
with the pimps. Keep going.
And sorcerers.
Sorcerers. When you look that word up in the Greek, that look that word up in the Greek.
And then, all right, the Greek word is G5332, which is pharmakeia.
And that's where you get the word pharmacy. Right. Pharmakeia. Keep going.
It says one who prepares or uses magical remedies.
One who prepares or uses magical remedies. Dark magic. Sorcery. Witchcraft. Warlocks. Keep going.
Scripture say stay away from familiar spirits and wizards.
Yeah, and it also says something out of which to live, because you would have little pharmacy junkies, so to speak. Certain Jakes trying to set up shop in the ancient world. What we do? We kill them off, man. Right. You know, shake Jake down, see them pills, and you kill Jake, man. You crushed it. You went like now. You have
by the ankle.
shake them down.
All these potions and shit.
But yeah, the potions and all that shit. See all kind of little stuff falling out his pocket, man.
Fucking chicken legs.
Yeah, chicken legs. And a whole live frog came out of his pocket. What the hell?
Freaking liquid with the brown top on it, rolling.
But I was gonna say, but what do you have today?
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
You have these but I'll just say in turn Edomites, I forget whatever category brothers will know, but they'll actually catch people with the drugs. I forget the specific. It's not the what is it called? I can't think of it right now.
A sting?
Yeah, let's say for instance, it's a sting operation, and they'll confiscate all kind of drugs, pounds of cocaine,
Like a drug bust?
Drug bust. They'll confiscate pounds of heroin, pounds of crack or cocaine. What do they do with those drugs? They're not burning them up. They actually utilize a lot of those drugs and put them back on the market.
Well, I picked up this Edomite chick, and she was going into the whole corruption of I want to say Clayton County, the sheriff that was out there. Now he was dirty as hell, and basically the word around town was, or what was going on was, this man was taking. Here he is. He's a sheriff, supposed to represent the law. He was law-abiding citizen, or whatever the case may be. And what he was doing he was basically doing a drug bust, like you're saying. Take the drugs, and then he was giving it to his son to sell the drugs back.
Flip it, man. This place is wicked as hell, man. And you know what they do that big into? In prisons. Because the thing is, with them prison centers, that's a whole nother economy in itself.
Hell yeah.
You could damn near become rich off of fucking ramen noodles in prison. How much more drugs? You know, you could take drugs. The street value might be say for instance it's $30. You might could sell it in prison for $150, some shit like that, man. You know, of course they do wires and all these different transfers to actually pay off these different things. But you'll have these sheriffs or you have these officers, law enforcement agents. They'll actually be pitching a lot of drugs in the prisons.
Cell phones and shit.
Cell phones and all these different things. You had this one prison, officer. He actually wrote a book about all the things they did in prison. Man, he was pimping out other officers. Women, the women were selling pussy to the men, making money off of that. He was selling drugs. He was kicking in doors on the streets. This was a nigga, man. This nigga was kicking in doors, shaking Jake down for drugs, and then taking the drugs and selling them to the prison. He wrote a whole book on everything he did. And that's just a half of it.
Because you know what it is, is that the scriptures say, what communion does light and darkness have with each other? Roughly paraphrasing. So here it is, you're being seduced by those evil spirits. You probably went in with the idea of being a cop and being positive.
Cop, yeah.
And then you get seduced by those evil spirits, and next thing you know, now you just a dope selling cop.
Yeah, you come in like Jake from Training Day, you leave out like fucking Alonzo, man. All kind of drugs, just like when you watch that movie Training Day. He was a top agent, so to speak, and he took all them different drugs. You know, he took all that money from that Edomite Robert.
Yep.
Then that was his name. Lifted up the joint, took all that different money to pay off those Russians and things of that nature. He turned into a dirty cop. And you got a lot of dirty cops, whether it's in Atlanta, especially Chicago, California,
New Orleans, Miami, for sure. Miami, for sure.
Yeah, the port of Miami is
Too much weight.
Yeah.
It's too much going on down there.
There's too much going on down there.
I had a Jake tell me one time, he said, man, back in the day when he lived down there, he said, you could just randomly go to the beach and see 100 pounds of drugs just float onto the beach from a boat a boat sinking out in the water, and all that shit come onto the. So who's confiscating all that? Like you think that the Coast Guard? We got 100 kilos of cocaine. Nigga, you make $20,000 a year, man. That's your whole career right there.
That's your career right there. Keep going.
All right, it says sorcerer, but when you go to the Strong's definition, it says from the word pharmacon, a drug, i.e. spell-giving potion.
Spell-giving potion. So it's a potion, but it's really a spell. It's something to keep you trapped. It's something to keep you locked in, to control you, to manipulate you. Whenever somebody puts a spell on you or put witchcraft on you, it's to manipulate you. So this so-called white man through these different, whether it's these CVS's, whether it's Walgreens, whether it's these hospitals, he's putting spells on you to keep you drugged up and keep you addicted to them drugs, man. And it's something your mind goes through when you take those drugs, man. Some drugs, when you own it, it's damn near impossible to get off. That's why the majority of these people, Esau gets them at a young age. That's why a lot of these children, if they say ADHD, a lot of these don't even really be symptoms. He's moving too much. Put him on 5 different drugs, man. Yeah, he don't know how to sit down. Put him on Ritalin, and then the Ritalin, he starts to take Ritalin at a young age. When he gets older, so Ritalin starts to upgrade to heavier drugs, bigger dosages.
Now he needs a drug to fight off the side effects of the Ritalin. Mm-hmm. So now he's on 2 drugs.
Now he's on 2 drugs. And I think they was doing that also, like certain heroin patients, like if rehabilitation centers, if somebody comes in on heroin, I don't know if they do it now, but if you on heroin, they would give you certain drugs to get off of your heroin addiction. Huh?
Lean.
Yeah, lean.
They would give you in these different centers. They would give you the promethazine, codeine to wean you off of the lean. That's why people that can't get the lean, what do? They go to the heroin.
See?
It's a trap.
This devil is a trickster, man, and he does it on purpose. He knows what it does. How he studies these things. He knows how drugs affect your body, and he knows that they have natural alternatives to actually clean your body. Like if you're having liver problems, if you're having kidney problems, you don't have to run to those drugs, man. It's all kind of remedies.
Milk thistle.
Milk thistle, yeah. Ciroc 38. Yeah, you got milk thistle. You got burdock root. You got all kind of herbs that you can take. Natural just taking chlorophyll, the chlorophyll cleanse, different detoxes and things of that nature. You know, fruits and vegetables, all these different things that used to. That's for the healing of man. That's for the service of man.
That's right.
That's why he bumped the price up.
And that's why he bumped the price up. And that's why he doesn't advertise those things, because you don't make money off of natural things as you make off of unnatural.
Yeah. I think bitter trees are illegal in America now. So you don't have bitter almond trees and bitter melon trees. Those aren't in America no more because they're curable effects.
Yeah, and that's one thing. That was one thing he did in his warfare in America, is he chopped down all the fruit and lively trees in America. That's why you don't just drive through the city and you'll see orange trees or apple trees,
peach trees.
Peach trees. You don't see nothing.
This is a fucking peach. All these peach trees, and not a goddamn peach tree in sight.
Yeah, that's a goddamn shit.
Ain't that something? You supposed to be riding through peach trees. It's supposed to be peach trees every goddamn.
We supposed to be smelling. We supposed to just be able to just peach.
At the convenience, you talking and you waving your hand, and the peach just fall in your hand.
Knock on a tree.
Smelling the sweetness in the air, the peach sweetness in the air. Man.
Is this the peach?
The peach state.
It's in the goddamn.
Peach state.
And I've never seen a peach tree in my life.
I've never seen a peach. What the hell is a peach tree?
Now they do have a little form, but they put chemicals and